Airlines diplomats take the Grand Renaissance Dam project as prime national agenda of Ethiopia. The Ethio-Djibouti Railway earns 2.5 billion birr over the last 5 months. Good evening to you all. A very warm welcome to ETV News. I'm Grum Tariku. Scholars said the international level information about Abai water was not written from Ethiopia's point of view so that the world did not understand Ethiopia's ownership rights. This was said during the presentation of a book written by Dereje Fekadu about Abai River. Diplomats who participated in the discussion about the book stressed that Ethiopia should work on irrigation and hydropower projects on the tributaries of the Abai. Johannes van Town has the following account.
The Abai River originates from an area called Sakala in Ethiopia and flows directly into Lake Tana. It passes through Tana and joins the tributaries in various parts of Ethiopia for centuries, passing through Sudan and Egypt and entering the Mediterranean. Although Ethiopia produces 86% of the river's water that flows through the three basin countries, when one looks at the different stories written about the river, they are reported from the perspective of Sudan and Egypt or their colonial rules. This misunderstanding of history has caused the international community not to properly understand Ethiopia's claim of ownership on the river. Dereje Fekadu, who has written a book about the Abai River, says that apart from the fact that there are different needs in the region, there are not enough articles describing Ethiopia's history on the river.
All the material written so far has been written from the point of view of others, that is from the point of view of Egypt or England. Therefore, what we are doing is why we cannot use the history of Ethiopia on the Abai River, as well as geopolitical and other resources. We are promoting the information, why we can't use it without harming others.
The current Ethiopian ambassador to the US and the former negotiator of the dam, Engineer Sleshi Bekele, said that Ethiopia should not rest on the grid as the population is increasing. And he pointed out that irrigation and small hydropower projects should be done on the tributaries of Abai River.
The Nile River has many tributaries in the east and west. We shouldn't just be happy with the ending of GERD. As we have seen in the master plan, we have to do 3 or 4 more small hydropower and irrigation projects. As our population grows, so do our needs. Ethiopia's share in the transboundary of the Nile should be properly respected by law.
Ambassador Tesfaye Ilma from the Ministry of Foreign Affairs said that there are many Ethiopians with different professions who are engaged in higher positions of responsibility and research in different countries of the world and who want to take part in supporting their country.
The diaspora have interest to support Ethiopia according to their profession, their skills, and the education they have learned, whether it is in terms of nation building or by studying and presenting various information or writing books. It is a promising start in terms of providing resources and helping to protect the interests of Ethiopia in other matters.
አጀማመር መሆኑን ለመግለጽ እፈልጋለሁ።
Ethiopia is repeatedly stating that it is exercising its right to use its natural resources in a way that does not harm others. And the author of the book emphasized that in order to correct the wrong understanding of the international community, frequent and accessible information should be provided from an Ethiopian perspective.
Ethiopian-born Eritrean diaspora says the Green Legacy initiative spearheaded by Ethiopia helps greening Africa and is an opportunity for new generation. As the initiative is making a difference, the international community should support this noble cause, he said. Goshumal has more on this.
The Green Legacy Initiative is a demonstration of Ethiopia's long-term commitment to a multifaceted response to the impacts of climate change. Talking to Addis Dialogue program, an Ethiopian-born Eritrean diaspora who is studying agroforestry at California University said the Green Legacy Initiative spearheaded by Ethiopia helps regreening Africa and an opportunity for new generation.
As you know, there's a great green wall that's currently going on. It's involved 11 different countries. Exactly. But this green legacy is more about regreening Africa, actually. And starting here with a major ambition is actually what we need to see, because a lot of hope is being lost right now in Africa, and we need to bring that back. And it's in our opportunity, us as young people, we're very hopeful. And so we need to keep on to fuel this, and this is why it's a green legacy, to create a legacy that we can carry on.
He also underscored that the initiative is making a difference, so the international community should support this novel cause.
One thing I do know is that the green legacy has created a really green economy going on in Ethiopia. Forestry used to just be more of an environmental factor, but now is moving into actually an economic sector. And so, for example, in the US, we have a very strong forestry sector that's going on. And that's actually what I'm trying to do, is create connections between my university and Ethiopia, and to see what kind of knowledge transfer that can go on. And in the sense of economic development, I think that first the conversation needs to be happening, and the fact that Ethiopia is actually making a difference. And that needs to be seen from the international community. And once that's seen, I think it's taken over by the professionals.
Thaddeus asserted that neighboring countries need to shore up the legacy by connecting researchers.
Neighboring countries can help by asking what are their needs, looking around their country, bringing awareness to this green culture, and seeing that, of course, there's different trees that will be planted in different areas, but these conversations need to be started. And by connecting with researchers here, and by connecting with researchers also in the US, like what I've been doing, is really what's going on, where we can create a global community that will bring major green change in Africa, which is very much needed at this moment and in the future.
It is to be recalled that Prime Minister Abiy Ahmed received Outstanding Africa Leadership Award for his contribution on Green Legacy Initiative.
Somalia's Transport and Civil Aviation Minister Fardwosa Osman Igal has arrived in Addis Ababa for an official working visit to Ethiopia. Upon arrival at the Addis Ababa Bole International Airport, the minister and her delegation were warmly welcomed by Minister of Transport and Logistics Dagmawit Moges. According to the Ministry of Transport and Logistics of Ethiopia, during their stay in Ethiopia, the delegation will discuss on strengthening of bilateral cooperation between Ethiopia and Somalia in the field of civil aviation. After meeting with her Ethiopian counterpart, Fardwosa Osman Igal has on her part indicated on her Twitter page that the delegation arrived in Addis Ababa to complete aviation agreement between Somalia and Ethiopia.
Welcome to the land of origins. Commercial Bank of Ethiopia is pleased to serve all your traveler banking needs. If you have money from any of these 16 countries, you can convert it to local currency by visiting our nearest branch. Alternatively, our secure Forex ATMs accept cash exchange, or if you prefer using your cards, we've partnered with Visa, MasterCard, and UnionPay so that you can withdraw cash from our local ATMs or make cashless transactions at thousands of local POS partners securely and with confidence. We are linked with more than 700 global banks through our direct SWIFT address, CBE Theta. We also work with 16 international money transfer agents, out of which Tune and WorldRemit enable you to make direct deposits into our savings and current accounts or our popular CBE Burr mobile wallet. Commercial Bank of Ethiopia, the bank you can always rely on.
ያመው የመጣ ከገርነ ንግስተ ሰባ ጋር እያያዘራሱ ለምንድነው እንትን የተባለው ማይለምን የተባለው ዘንደው ነው እዚህ ውሃው ይጠጣል ማለት ነው በርቀት ያዩን ሰዎች አይኑን ጎላጎላ ያለ በጣም እንትን ነበር ትላልቅ ነበርና አያችሁት አይኑን ሲሉት ሎሚ ያክላል ሲሉ እዛ ከዛ የተነሳ ነው ማይለምን የተባለው ነው የሚሉን እንግዲህ በታሪክ የቆየ ነው ማለት ነውና ከዛ ጋር ነው የሚያያይዙት
ስፍራ በ1996 ዓመተ ምህረት በፈረንጆች አቆጣጠር ማለት ነው የአርኪኦሎጂ ዳሰሳ ተደርጎበት ነበር የዳሰሳው ሪፖርት እንደሚያሳየው ይሄ ቦታ በቀደምት ሰዎች ማህበረሰብ ሰፍረውበት እንደነበረ ይገልጻል
Welcome back in. You are watching ETV News. The National Electoral Board of Ethiopia announced that 2,934,143 people have registered to vote for the referendum to be held in 6 zones and 5 special districts in the southern region. Accordingly, Board Chairperson Burtukan Mideksa underscored that right after the voters' results, the House of Federation will decide on the matter of referendum endeavors of the people living in the south. Our staff reporter Kasaun Chani has more on this.
The National Electoral Board of Ethiopia briefed journalists regarding the referendum to be held in consoles as Omo, Walaita, Gamo, Gedio and Gofa zones in the southern region, as well as Burji, Basketo, Ale, Amaro and Rasha special districts, indicating the 3,769 regular and 7 offices for the displaced. 11 zonal and district referendum offices are arranged to undertake the referendum processes. The National Electoral Board of Ethiopia Chairperson Burtukan Mideksa announced that the board has been undertaking first to finalize the referendum processes in accordance with the law.
We have given capacity training for more than 11,485 executive individuals and those concerned bodies to undertake the referendum process smoothly in accordance with the law.
On the occasion, Board Chairperson Burtukan Mideksa pointed out that the registration of displaced voters was conducted in Konso, Ale and Rasha areas. Among the problems encountered in the process was the rejection of the previous registration due to violations of the law at 24 polling stations.
Within a referendum process, there has been a problem observed among the evils and wrongdoings that were illegal acts occurred within 24 polling stations were totally disqualified, and we have to start the registration, arranging and discussing within those concerned bodies, warning to stop such illegal acts.
It was also revealed 2,934,143 voters were registered in 24 polling stations, and 5,274 local observers were sought to be stationed in the referendum registration. The referendum process is scheduled to be undertaken on January 29, 2015, Ethiopian calendar.
The Culture and Tourism Department of Gondar City is ready to host the Epiphany or Timkat holiday with assortments. Ethiopian Epiphany is a colorful festival celebrated all over Ethiopia to commemorate the baptism of Jesus Christ by John the Baptist in the River Jordan. The commemoration starts on the eve of the main festival on the 18th of January. In particular, it is a very colorful annual event in the city of Gondar, which is the capital city of Ethiopia from the early 17th to mid-19th century, a city known as the Clement of Africa. The head of the city's Culture and Tourism Department, Chalacho Dainyo, told Fana Broadcasting Corporate that 750,000 to 1 million visitors are expected to enter Gondar during the upcoming Epiphany Festival. The Ethio-Djibouti Standard Gauge Railway Share Company disclosed that it has earned 2.5 billion birr over the past 5 months of Ethiopian fiscal year. CEO of Ethio-Djibouti Standard Gauge Railway Share Company, Abdi Zannaba, told Ethiopian News Agency that the services being rendered by the company has been expanding. Tugusanesa presents Ethiopia's News Agency 5.
It was expressed that in the last 5 months alone, Ethio-Djibouti Standard Gauge Railway Share Company, EDR, has earned 2.5 billion birr by transporting more than 500,000 tons of cargo, including fertilizer, oil, wheat, vehicles and others. CEO of Ethio-Djibouti Standard Gauge Railway Share Company, Abdi Zannaba, elaborated to Ethiopian News Agency that compared to the same period last year, the stated revenue shows an increment of 600 million birr. Abdi stated that the company's contribution to the overall import-export trade of the country in terms of cargo transportation services has reached 15% over the past 5 months of Ethiopian fiscal year.
The railway's contribution to the overall import and export trade of the country in terms of cargo transportation service has reached 15% over the past 5 months of the current Ethiopian fiscal year, which exceeded from 11.2% to 15% compared to the same period last year.
The expansion of services both in terms of volume and kind by the company has contributed a lot for the registered growth, Abdi said, noting that the company is playing a major role in facilitating the free trade zone that was recently launched in Dredawa.
The recently launched Dredawa station has only been rendering passengers transportation service, but lately it has been changed to provide cargo transportation services that played a major role in facilitating free trade zone with the capacity to move 212 containers at a time to the dry port and also providing efficient service.
On the other hand, the CEO indicated that preparations have been completed to provide services to investors engaged in different sectors so that they can export products at a reasonable price and in a timely manner. Activities are also underway to commence services to bring the products by farmers to the market in the areas where the train passes, he added. He stated that preparations have also been finalized to begin transportation of cement, sugar and gas on a large scale.
Welcome to the land of origins. Commercial Bank of Ethiopia is pleased to serve all your traveler banking needs. If you have money from any of these 16 countries, you can convert it to local currency by visiting our nearest branch. Alternatively, our secure Forex ATMs accept cash exchange, or if you prefer using your cards, we've partnered with Visa, MasterCard, and UnionPay so that you can withdraw cash from our local ATMs or make cashless transactions at thousands of local POS partners securely and with confidence. We are linked with more than 700 global banks through our direct SWIFT address, CBE Teta. We also work with 16 international money transfer agents, out of which Tune and World Remit enable you to make direct deposits into our savings and current accounts or our popular CBE Burr mobile wallet. Commercial Bank of Ethiopia, the bank you can always rely on.
Akwaba, Karibu, welcome to Ghana!
My name is Princess Hatia. I am the globe-trotting princess and author. Welcome to my city, Accra. Accra is the capital of Ghana. Now, today I'm taking you on a tour to various places in the city. We're currently at the Independence Square in Accra. Now, the Independence Square is the second largest square in the world after Tiananmen Square. Accra has about 4 million people. Accra is a major economic trading hub of Ghana. We're in Makola Market. Makola Market is the second largest market in West Africa. This is where I come to buy all my fabrics, food stuff. It's a busy, bustly place. It's a lovely place to come. So if you want to get any souvenirs, Makola Market is the place to come. Now, come on with me.
And finally, the first General Assembly of the United Nations was convened in London on the 10th of January 1946. Involving 51 member states, the Assembly had put directions on the organization after discussing for a month. Shagai Mato has the details.
After the Second World War, 51 countries across the globe established the United Nations Organization in 1945 to ensure peace and security and protect human rights in the world. The 78-year-old organization currently embodied 193 member states. Since the establishment of the organization, it had accomplished numerous activities in delivering humanitarian aid to people in need and in restoring peace and order among others in the globe. Founded in 1945, the United Nations Organization held its first General Assembly in 1946 this week. Peace and security, economic and social affairs of the world were among the topmost agendas of the first General Assembly of the United Nations, which was held in London.
We who are here gathered today in this ancient home of liberty and order are able to meet together because thousands of brave men and women have suffered and died that we may live. It is for us today, bearing in mind the great sacrifices that have been made, to prove ourselves no less courageous in approaching our great task, no less patient, no less self-sacrificing. We must, we will succeed.
After the first General Assembly, the United Nations Security Council formulated new laws and regulations for the first time. The Foreign Minister of Belgium, Mr. Smith-Park, was elected as President of the Assembly.
Ladies and gentlemen, the result of the ballot is as follows. Number of votes cast, 51. 23 votes were cast for Mr. Lee, and 28 votes were cast for Monsieur Spark.
The elected president and leaders of member countries addressed speeches at the event.
Over now to quick reminder of the headlines. Diplomats take the Grand Renaissance Dam project as prime national agenda of Ethiopia. The Ethio-Djibouti railway earns 2.5 billion over last 5 months. Well, you have been watching ETV News. Thanks for your company and have a great time.